Welcome to our YouTube video series on franchise law. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal. And in this particular video, we're going to be discussing what is a franchise fee. And for purposes of specificity, you should be starting by looking at your jurisdiction's franchising legislation. And if not, you then proceed to the contract or to case law to ascertain what a franchise fee is for specifics as to your jurisdiction. But let's go with a definition of franchise fee as found in the Alberta Franchise Act to understand the specifics that the legislature has put forward as to what a franchise fee is. And there it is defined as a direct or indirect payment to purchase a franchise or to operate a franchise business. Those terms we're going to look at subsequently, but we have to also look at the exclusions, where it says, but does not include 1, a purchase of or an agreement to purchase a reasonable amount of goods at a reasonable bona fide wholesale price. Understandable, that's a large sale transaction. Number 2, a purchase of or an agreement to purchase a reasonable amount of services at a reasonable bona fide price. Once again, a large-scale service, but not a franchise arrangement. And number 3, a payment of a reasonable service charge to the issuer of a credit or debit card by an establishment accepting the credit or debit card as the case may be. Once again, perfectly understandable non-franchise fee. But now that we go back to a direct or indirect payment to purchase a franchise or operate a franchise business, we have to look at those two specific terms. And first of all, to be clear, a franchise business is also defined, and that is a business operating under a franchise agreement, which by definition means any agreement that relates to a franchise between 1, a franchisor or its associates, and 2, a franchisee or a prospective franchisee. Now we get to the most critical aspect, once again, which is what is a franchise. And this is the critical aspect to determine that you are in fact operating with a franchise arrangement, and from that flows the obligation, the determination whether or not it is a franchise fee. And a franchise is defined in this act as a right to engage in a business, 1, in which goods or services are sold or offered for sale or distributed under a marketing or business plan prescribed in substantial part by the franchisor or its associate. Number 2, that is substantially associated with a trademark, service mark, trade name, logotype, or advertising of the franchisor or its associate, or designating the franchisor or its associate. And number 3, and in particular, number 3, that involves either a continuing financial obligation to the franchisor or its associate by the franchisee and significant continuing operational controls by the franchisor or its associate on the operations of the franchise business, or B, the payment of a franchise fee. And at the end, and this includes both a master franchise and a sub-franchise. So by looking at all these definitions, we are able to identify what is a franchise fee and what is not a franchise fee. And as we said at the outset, it's particularly important to ascertain if the franchising legislation of the jurisdiction sets forth the definition, because the definition in the legislation is going to control. And if it's not in the legislation, what you need to then look at is you have to look at any contractual arrangements or any case law in that jurisdiction that defines what a franchise fee is. Thank you.